Get in here. Come on in. Get in here. Get in here. We need you. We want you. Come on in. Hey, I want to, just for those of you who tune in early, want to just give you a bit of a window into my life. So I'm going to start doing that just by telling you some stuff that I'm just really enjoying lately. And give you a bit of a picture. Well, we wait about 45 seconds for people to get in here. So get in here quick. Make that a habit for yourselves if you can. Or you have to watch on replay. I guess that works too. For those of you watching later, you win. But I want to tell you one thing that I've just been like absolutely loving, like really, really loving. And some of you saw that a few weeks ago I said, in my prayer, thinking, reflecting time, that I was supposed to spend some time riding bikes with my kids. And so I did that. And all of my boys now are officially riding bikes. And it's pretty cool, actually, because for me, it was one of the things I was worried that was just going to pass me by. Sometimes I get too busy. And so anyways, we've been going on bike rides. And the other day we went on like 4 bike rides or 3 bike rides. I can't remember in one day. It was just ridiculous. And it was so much fun. And the reason I bring that up is because actually when it comes to strengthening your soul, I want you to know I'm trying to live into this stuff too. And it really is working. So come on in, get in here, grab a drink. We're going to take a drink in about 20 seconds. So grab a drink, grab your favorite drink. Today I'm having a Soda Stream water with some lemon juice. Don't mix those beforehand. Mix them after. And it's a great drink. So anyways, that's what I'm having. I hope you got a drink because we're going to cheers one another right now. So cheers. Let's take a drink. Let's talk about your soul. We got work to do. So we're in this series on leadership where we're talking about how do you start to live in such a way that you create an environment around you because the standards you have are higher than anyone could reasonably expect from you. So you are actually governing yourself. You're actually leading yourself. And when you start to live this way, it gives you great opportunity to start to connect with the very heart of God. Because God actually is the one who self-governs. No one's in charge of him. And so we're meant to, be influenced and led by God, the universe, by Jesus. And we're meant for that. But actually, when we begin to take responsibility, we actually begin to pick up leadership. And it strengthens and enlivens your soul. So tonight, I want to talk to you about this concept of being fruitful. Now, if you're outside of faith, you never, ever read the Bible, and I know a lot of you haven't. Lots and lots of people who watch us, just my dear friends, I love you. Man, I love you. And you're not a part of a faith system, and that's okay. Part of this series is actually just to go, did Jesus really mean what he said he meant? And does it work? And it does. And he promised that he could strengthen your soul, and so we're trying to lean into that. And so one of the things that Jesus talked about was this idea of being fruitful. Being fruitful. So I'll write with, the green pen doesn't show up so well, so I'll use the purple. So this idea of be fruitful. So what does it mean to be fruitful? So the analogy, I think actually the analogy used most commonly with Jesus had to do with grapes. And in the ancient world, grapes always led to wine, and wine always led to joy. So Jesus, he talked about, there's this idea of being fruitful, bringing forth the produce. And the interesting part about this is to be fruitful is less about effort and more about alignment. Being fruitful is, okay, I'll put it this way. It's not about effort. It's about alignment. What do I mean by alignment? Here's what I mean. And this is why we actually have our try section every day in about 5 or so minutes now. We're going to try, and here's what we mean by that. Uh, if you work really hard to be fruitful, often what you'll find is other issues will pop up. So let's say you try really hard to be loving, and you just put in all this effort, this crazy effort, which would be a good thing to do. But what you might find is that you find you're more frustrated because it doesn't work the way you want. And so part of why we reflect, why we take time to meditate, to pray, and go, God, what do you have for me? Uh, is because actually when you get in alignment, life begins to change. So what is fruit? I want to give you a matrix, which was a fun movie, by the way. The first one, at least. The second and third actually were better than I remembered them being. Watched them with my wife a little while ago. Uh, but you can tell why they weren't as popular as the first. Anyways, let me give you a fruit matrix. So I'm going to dub this the Harnett Fruit Matrix, inspired by and expanding upon, hopefully, the teachings of Jesus. That's what I'm aiming for. I want to give you two areas where fruit, being fruitful, because there's this command to be fruitful, there's this idea of being multiplicative, and then having dominion. We'll talk about multiplication and dominion the next couple of days. Whew, apparently I'm running out of words today. So, two key concepts in this matrix. The first is this, your character. And the second one is this, what you create. So your fruitfulness comes through your character and what you create. So some of you, you're unbelievable bakers. Some of you, this is going to rhyme, so I like it. Some of you are unbelievable homemakers. So you're at home with your kids. Uh, so what you're doing in these areas of life, you're creating. Some of you are great entrepreneurs. Some of you are photographers. Some of you are web developers. Some of you are video game designers. Just thinking of some of you who I know tune in. Some of you, you've run like you educate people, but part of you, the fruit of your life comes in what you create. And when you do this right, when you're in alignment with what you're meant to create, it bears a lot of fruit. A lot of people experience good. So creating is really about helping others. Okay, so if you make a beautiful painting and never show it to anybody, it is not fruitful. Nobody's life got better. It was just sort of narcissistic creativity. These videos that I make, honestly, my big hope, my big prayer, my big sort of hoping to align myself with God is that it would help other people, that it would help you. And my hope is that you would actually pass them on to others, even by word of mouth, to help others too. So what do you create? And is it about helping others? So this is a diagnostic question. It's a diagnostic question. Then there's character. So this is about how you interact with your others, how you interact with yourself, how you interact with God, universe, Christ. So another sort of area of being fruitful is your character. It's your joy, it's your love, it's your peace, it's the tranquility of your soul, it's your inner strength, it's the courage to speak when it needs to be. And so you can actually measure to what extent is your life being fruitful by looking at your character and your creativity. Now, here's the question. How do you get in alignment? How do you get in alignment with God so that you become someone who leads in a specific area? I want to give you the other parts of these matrices. So this is about service. And these will be the frame for our trying time. So the question here is one, who can I help? Ironically, who can I help? Or what needs to change? So I'll share with you a little bit of a a secret area in my life. One of the areas of fruit that's shown up in my life. And sometimes you have fruit that's bad fruit. So you're interacting with people, it's bad, your character's bad, you notice it's bad, and you need to ask for help. So one of my areas that was bad is I was just kind of getting yelly with my kids. I yell at my kids. I hate saying that. Man, I really hate saying that. I'm gonna have a sip because I need to feel slightly better. And actually, because I hate saying that, I was a man who yelled at his kids, but I did. I'm not that man anymore, though, because part of what I started to do was getting in alignment with God so that I could bear fruit. So in some of my reflections, God just said, you got to stop yelling at your kids. I said, I don't even know how to do that. But then he told me other stuff. Just spend time with them. Go play with them. Teach them to ride bikes. Now, what is the correlation between teaching your kids to ride bikes and yelling? I actually don't know. But it turns out that God, the universe, that Jesus, he's smart and knows stuff I don't. And so for like 3 weeks, I haven't yelled at my kids, and my kids have even commented. So my character's gotten better. So what needed to change? It's about service. It's about character. This is really blocking. It's about service. So who can you help, or what needs to change? And then, ironically, if you also increase your skill, all of a sudden, your ability to create. So these are sort of correlated because this is about interacting with others. It's about helping others by using your skill. So, 3. A leader is always asking the question, where can I grow? Where can I grow? So again, if you're a baker, I use baker and homemaker. Again, it amuses me that they rhyme. But where can you grow? So if you're a baker, you might go, actually, I need to spend time studying my craft, or I just need to bake every day extra to make the best, I don't know, I'll use this, cookies. And you might go, why does baking cookies matter? Great question. Baking cookies matters because, and this sounds so simple, but you can actually bring with a great cookie, or a great lunch, or a great meal, or a great dessert, you can bring incredible joy. So I know people who bake, and I go, seriously, you make the world more like it's meant to be when you bake with excellence. Because there are some places where you're like, I'm making a cake for a wedding. And if you make that cake with as much skill as you have to serve other people, they're going to have a beautiful, brilliant wedding day and a piece of cake that just makes it that much better. And so it really matters. If you're a homemaker, you might go, I don't know, you might read some books on how do you make your home more peaceful, more organized. How do you raise your kids well? How do you love them after school? Or how do you homeschool well? And that is, it obviously matters because the sum and substance of your children's life really matters. So being fruitful is measured through your character and what you create. And you leverage these. You become a person of greater character by acts of service, and you leverage your creativity by adding skill to it. That's part of just being fruitful. It's part of being a leader. Because being a leader is about setting standards for yourself that other people can't reasonably hold you to. They're yours. You're self-governing. Not in a rebellious way, but in a responsible way. So, we're going to use these questions for reflection. You take one of these 3. Who can you help? Because maybe tonight you need to get in alignment by helping people. Number 2, what needs to change? Maybe you get in alignment so you bear fruit, because it's not about effort, it's about alignment. You go, what needs to change? What needs to change? Or number 3, where can I grow? Probably referencing skill and what you create. So let's take a moment just to reflect. And I'd love to just pray for us. So God, we pray for those. I pray for those who are watching right now, that their life would actually have fruit that lasts, that they would actually lean into a life that blesses other people and helps them, and that in doing so, our souls would be strengthened. So would you speak to us? Lord, would you speak to those who are listening about who they might help, or what they need to change, or where they should lean in for growth? Who they might help, what they need to change, or where they can lean in for growth. So just stop and reflect on any one of those three. Okay. So I'll give you mine, and then I actually forgot to pray for everybody last night, so I'll do that tonight. Some of you like that, some of you don't. If you don't like it, you can just hop off, and we'll see you tomorrow um, after I share with you my stuff. So actually, for me, some of you might not know this. It's semi-known, so some know and some don't. I've been learning Spanish on the side, and over the past couple of weeks, I just completely let it go. Like, I still remember some of my Spanish. I'm still very, 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 very poorly conversant. When I was in Peru for my wife and I, our 10-year anniversary, we went to Peru, and I could converse and talk with a 3-year-old. That was about the level of my Spanish. But I've just sort of, it's hard work. It's not super rewarding, but I actually feel like there are people I'll be able to serve and help, and perhaps even someday use creativity to serve and help others if I can speak in a second language. So that's where I got to just start putting effort, because I want to get in alignment so that I'm fruitful. So with that being said, I hope you're feeling more aligned, feeling stronger, and a deeper connection with others and with the Father of your soul. And with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. Strengthen your soul. And don't forget to like, comment, or share. And as always, if you want to catch up on some videos, you can check us out on YouTube and subscribe. You could drive my subscriber count up to like 14. And that is like 10 times bigger than it was 3 weeks ago. So anyways, have a great night.